name's Flippy the Destroyer, and welcome to my channel. It looks like Valve will tighten its early access rules, finally. But it's not perfect. They're working on it. Well, at least we have some guidelines as well. I mean, gamers, when I say we. It's far from perfect, but let's go on that here. First of all, the aspect is non-negotiable for early access participants. Valve now asks developers to specifically brand games as being in early access when Steam keys are being distributed off-site. This makes sense. I mean, nobody should buy a Steam key from another website, like Greenman Gaming, for example, and what you're buying really is a beta, or an alpha, or just early access and no one knows about it. I personally didn't have that problem because I bought all my early access games from either the developer itself, and it was very clear, or from Steam itself. But I cannot really understand why they're doing this. This is should be number one. Totally understand, it's okay. They also say Valve also asks developers to communicate the current state of the project. You want a good example? Starbound. Yes, for a while they didn't give a lot of updates. Well, they didn't do updates on the game itself, but they do communicate a lot. They had a they have a roadmap. If you go on their website, playstarbound.com, they have. It's just amazing the way they communicate. This is a perfect example. They have at least a weekly update on this thing. Some games just didn't give updates for months. And for some reason, Valve just let them go. They let them go without any updates. It's not, oh man. But now, looks like they do. Second of all, they are also asked to specifically to avoid specific promises about future events. This is likely to avoid developers being bragged about how their games will eventually have co-op or other features that might not be axed. Yeah, this is the only thing that I'm really disappointed. What I want for Valve is this. I want them to act as a referee. Just like PayPal, for example. I mean, you're giving them money to... You're not giving money for an early access game for an alpha or a beta. You're not. That's the whole point of this. You're paying them, the developers, for a complete game, for the promise of a complete game. Like it or not, written or not, you're giving them money for the written game. That's the thing about it there. And this breaks everything. Absolutely everything. I really don't know why they said that. So, in other words, here's the thing. Well, I'm just going to continue here. This could lead to projects being more vague but more realistic about what can really happen. Exactly. That's the whole thing about this. Well, let's say second rule here. Early access developers that are releasing a game on early access might tell, listen, we have single player going on. We got 3 levels out of 10. No, we got 3 levels, and that's it. We asked $20 for our early access. When is the game going to be complete? I don't know. I'm not supposed to say that. Is it going to be fully released? I don't know. I'm not supposed to say that. You know, nothing is being said about it. It's just like before, except for the other rule about the early access, to just say that this is early access, you're paying for early access. So we're branding the game as being early access right now. The other one is, let's see here. The other one on the list here is, if it's going to be unlocked on Steam and on other websites, make sure it's consistent. Yeah, that has been a problem that has been plaguing games on Steam. Like Steam, you get games that are, I don't know, like $20 or so, and you see them on other websites. Sometimes it's being another price, and if you get the game in a certain country and in another country, it's the same price, which doesn't make any sense. But who's to blame here? Valve or the game developers? I personally, I don't know. Up to that point, I would probably say Valve, but I'm not even sure on that part. I don't know. I mean, they put up the price. I mean, well, the developers are putting up the price, but still, if they say it's going to be $20, to me it seems to be clear that in the UL, if you go to another country, which I don't have the numbers right now, it should be higher or lower. You know, it would make sense to me. But that's the thing. On the second point here about the promises of future events, this is the one that's really pissing me off here, and it really pisses me off, and it really disappoints me, because here's the thing. I'm not an investor. I have no power whatsoever to the developers. Most investors will say, listen, we gave you money, you give me this. If not, I'm going to take everything I gave to you, and fuck you. That's going to happen, and that will happen. If not, you're going to see my lawyers. I'm a person who works here. Do I have the money to pay a lawyer for this? Do I want to do this in the first place? It's going to be hell. It's going to be a lot of problems and a lot of time consuming for me. I don't have that. I don't have the time, the energy, or the money to do this. I wish. Because there are some early access games that I paid that I didn't get the promise, the promise that I didn't have, but I'm just a gamer, that's the thing. I give money to developers. It did happen once, and I got screwed in a way with the space-based DF9. I gave them money for the complete game. I didn't have. No one will. They're letting it go. There's other people that gave money to developers for their finished product, for the promise of a finished product, and that's the thing that I don't think Valve understands. Gamers give monies to developers for finished products, even if it's in an early state. And the number one problem that I see from developers is communication. Oh my god, they suck at this. It doesn't take much to give a weekly update or a monthly update, and I don't know why Valve is letting them go on that. It should be a written, well, now it's going to be a written rule. They're also asking developers to communicate the current status of the project. It's finally a rule. Finally we have a guideline, and finally we have something to work with here. Well, developers will have to communicate with their gamers, so when or how, that's the problem that I foresee here. Maybe they're gonna give like a monthly update. I don't know. Will it be a kind of a fix-all problem? No. We're still gonna see games that are unfinished showing in an early access. Like some games, for example, I saw an article here on IGN. I'm gonna give the link down below. And this is really bad. 103 games has been released in 2013, and in 2014, no, it's 255 early access games this year compared to like the last year, 103. Holy fuck! How can developers make money out of this? Really, like in some games, I mean, in some days, you got 10 released games on Steam. Like, really, it's really that bad. How do you want to make money with this? Maybe if Valve releases less game per month. I mean, I've seen games like 75 games in 1 month. That's ridiculous. Like in the month of August, there's like, I don't know, 75 games that have been released. It's way too much. And there's another one here. There's a report. It says that recent report that stated most early access games are still in beta after 20 months, and only 25% have launched full versions. This is a big problem. This is one of the main problems. Early access is not going to go away. This is one of the things that, like, Valve has to fix. I'm not even sure if it's possible to do, like, by the law or something. Like, you have a game, and you have this to do, and you have to release it full release in X amount of time. Is it possible to do so? Can you say to a company, listen, I want you to release your game in 2 years? Do you have the power to do that by law? Can you do that? And even if you do, it's like an opinion. Is your game playable? They could release a game which is like, it could be cleared that it's early access, but by their rules, it could still be early access, but it's not. It looks like the full version. They released it as the full version. They're asking for the full price. No refunds. That's why I'm saying that Valve should act as referees, which means Valve holds the money. They have the power to hold the money, and because of that, the company must, like, they're going to hold the money until it's finished, or they could work something out with this. You know, it's not really solid, but they should have some power to say, listen, gamers gave you $300,000 and your product is not finished. It doesn't look like finished. You didn't give any updates within 2 months. We're taking out of the store because it doesn't work. You're not holding your promises. Yeah, not promises. We can't take this anymore. Gamers, we're receiving too much complaints about our gamers, and you're not giving them an answer. You're not communicating with them. We're going to release it, and we're just going to take it out. Money should go all to the gamers. Boom, that's it. To me, that seems like a win. But is it working like that right now? Yes, but not enough. There's a lot of... It's a pain. It's a pain for a gamer when they ask Steam for a refund, and they don't do that a lot. It needs to be a rule that when a gamer pays for an early access, it should be right on their account. You have the power to ask for a refund any moment, right there. Like, there should be like an install button, like you see every day. You like the install button, then you got a refund button right there. To me, that's how I look at it. Referee 100%. Valve should have the final stand to this. That's me. That's how it, like, it should be clear. But this also should have been done from day one. From day one, green light was on, like it was active. And also, they should release less games. That should help a lot of developers. Seriously, I've seen games, like 10 games in one day. How do you want a developer to make money out of this? Like, really? On the release date, 10 games. This is ridiculous. Like, those are the two things. Too much release games in a month, or in a day, or in a moment. And the early access games that are beta in a certain amount of time. That needs to be fixed, because these are the biggest problems that I see amongst all the others, but that's what I see anyways. So what are your thoughts about this? So if you did like this video, just give me a comment, subscribe, like, and comment, even if it's negative. Bye.